It's just one of those podcasts.
It truly is.
Yeah, episode 1, the Phantom podcast.
Oh man, dude, what do we? This is the first one, man. We got to make it good, otherwise people won't come back.
Yeah, it's not gonna be good.
No, it's really not. It's gonna be really bad, but we're gonna sure as hell try though.
Yeah, well, we're here. We're gonna talk about some sensitive subjects.
I mean, sensitive for us. I don't know about anybody else.
It's gonna get in deep. It's gonna cut deep. It's gonna hurt.
A lot.
Painful, man. Very painful.
That's true.
Kind of like when you spend $150 on a headset. That's the kind of pain that we're gonna experience.
Yeah, I don't know who would have done something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just forgot I did that, man. I was almost past it.
Dude, you could have. Wait, maybe not. I was saying like maybe you could have used those right now.
That's true, man. I could have done that.
Yeah.
And just potted off of the microphone that's on them, man. They are Bluetooth.
Yeah.
And they get their own fancy hub and everything, so that I can do PC, Mac, my Xbox, you name it.
You could have done it, man. Didn't do it.
Man. Then I wouldn't be so burdened with this. What is this? This cable.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be so burdened with it.
Cords suck, dude. That's definitely true. So what are we're going to talk about something today. We're very well researched. We got a lot of stats and
exactly
figures to back us up.
We did about a minute of research, which is more than we usually do. That's like a minute more than we usually do.
Yeah.
So you want to lead us down the path of what we're going to talk to do?
Well, look, I've been a movie fan my whole life, right?
Right.
I've always been a fan of film, and always had a movie collection as long as I can remember. I had a stack of VHSs back in the day. I can't find them, but I did have a bunch of Godzilla movies on VHS, but they're missing somewhere, which really bums me out.
That is a shame, man.
Yeah, but I've always had a bunch of VHS tapes and whatnot, and whatever I watched back then. I remember I had Mortal Kombat, Men in Black, whatever. And then DVD came around, and I remember that a bit. I was young, I mean, I'm old, but I at least remember the transition.
Okay. And
then I got a whole DVD collection, had that going on for a while. And then Blu-ray came out in like 2007, 8, somewhere around there.
This is one of those things in the minute of research maybe we should have, looked at.
Maybe. And then I started upgrading the Blu-ray. So I remember that I started getting Blu-rays, and I started getting some of the movies I had on DVD upgraded to Blu-ray because, I mean, I don't know about the average person, but for me, I remember the first time I watched a movie on Blu-ray that I could like actively tell the difference in quality between a DVD and a Blu-ray, and it was pretty apparent. And I was like,
you were right, dude. 2006.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people give that much thought about this, but when I sit down and I put in a movie that's on DVD and then I put in a movie that's on Blu-ray, I can tell the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even more so that when I put in a movie that's on Blu-ray and a movie that's on 4K, I can tell the difference. But a lot of people will come to me and they're like, dude, there's no difference.
Yeah.
I definitely notice a difference.
It's funny. Actually, the first movie I saw on Blu-ray was Live Free or Die Hard.
Really?
Yeah. Not an amazing movie, but it has a lot of action in it. And I remember like seeing like the step up in quality while watching the action scenes. It's just like, oh, it's like this was a Blu-ray.
Right.
And so I remember like I had to get it after that, and I did. And then now I have a bunch of Blu-rays. I still have some DVDs, but yeah, for the most part, that's as far as I got. And now there's 4K, which you need to have a 4K TV to watch or whatever. But now that's even another step up from Blu-ray. And it seems as though with each step up from VHS to DVD to Blu-ray to 4K, with each step up, the mass, like the majority of people, have been stepping up less and less as it's gone on. And where we are right now, and what I'm curious about is physical media in general a lost art form? Is it dying? Is it dead? Is it dead already? Is it just clinging to life? What's the next step? Where do you go after 4K? There's a lot of questions.
Right. Well, I think we got to be careful here because if we're talking about like physical media disappearing, well, then it definitely, like newspapers are, what's a newspaper?
Yeah.
We're just specifically talking about movies and like Blu-rays and television, that kind of that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that because
right.
Physical media I feel like is disappearing, or there's so much on the market that I think there's a confusion.
Right. Yeah. So we're going to kind of break this down and kind of talk about what we think about the current state of movies on physical media movies, Blu-rays, 4K, and where do you go? What do you get? And is it even worth it?
That's true.
Yeah.
You know what? We didn't even in that little intro there. We didn't even talk about like 3D Blu-rays that came out in the midst of that. I don't remember when the first one was, but
yeah,
that's one line I didn't go down. But there is that out there.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot out there, but what are people actually getting, and do people actually care? That's the big thing.
Yeah. So, man, now we got to figure out how we're going to tackle this, because I know we've been talking about it like this was going to be the first subject we're going to talk about, but now we're going to figure out where to start.
Right. Well, let's just start with this. Let's start with do you think that people in general even care about owning movies anymore? And if they do they get Blu-ray, 4K, DVD? Do they not care? Do they just get what's available or what's cheap? First of all, so question one, do people even get movies on physical media anymore? Do they care what kind of physical media they're getting? And how do they choose?
I think here's the thing. Most of the time when I see people buying DVDs or buying any sort of films, it's for young kids. I feel like they go into the home, they watch them for a little while, and then they get tossed to the side. I don't know. I think there's very few people that honestly, I think people buy them, they get thrown on a shelf or they get thrown into a stack, and then they don't really get. It's not look, and I can only talk about the two of us because I know for a fact that all these are lined up in a particular way. You have them on shelves. You have certain editions with each other.
Yeah.
Mine's a more sporadic way of collecting things, but I have everything on shelves. I have everything displayed the way I want. It's very much a part of what I my world is the fact that I have this ridiculous amount of Blu-rays in this movie collection. But I like the physical. I like seeing it. I like holding it. I like having it.
Yeah.
I like that if there's no internet, I have plenty of stuff to watch. If there's, I can do that. But I don't think Joe Schmo on the road right now. I think there's becoming less and less people that are going out and buying it because it's a brand new Blu-ray is $24.99 or whatever it is usually, sometimes more. A brand new 4K Blu-ray is $35, $45.
Yeah.
And then a DVD is usually $20 new. I mean, we're talking brand new releases. So am I going to spend my amount of money on one movie for that, or am I going to spend the $10.99, $11.99 for Netflix and sit at home and be able to move? I think nowadays we're seeing more and more people who are just I'd rather just stay at home and search Netflix for something to watch rather than going out or rent it online for the $2.99 or $3.99 that it's going to be.
Yeah.
So do I think people out there are buying a lot of it? No. I think there's some people who are consistently buying it and a lot of parents buying it for younger kids. But as for just Joe Schmo on the street buying it to have it, probably not.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that generally people just don't care. People that aren't avid movie buffs or whatever, they just don't care because for the average person, they just, at least nowadays, And that's another thing maybe we can talk about too is like I feel like movies and stuff have lost their specialness because they're so prevalent and available everywhere anytime. Is that we don't go out and rent movies anymore. Train. You can watch, like, everyone has a subscription service. They have their Netflix or their Hulus or whatever, and they're just going to throw something on the quickest, easiest way that they possibly can and watch it. And you can watch a movie on your TV, on your phone, on your tablet. Like, it's everywhere. Like, and generally, I think people are just looking for something to watch to pass the time,
Right.
and they don't care about the quality of what they're watching. They don't care about the bonus features or commentary. They don't care about any of that stuff. And if you can just if you have just a Netflix app on your phone and you just was like, oh, I just want to watch something, you can just boo, 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 there it is. And that's it. And that's satisfying for some people. Like,
Right.
They can just see a movie on their tiny little phone screen and they don't care.
Right.
But
gone are the days of like going to, around here it was Video Circus, but gone are the days of going to Video Circus.
It's not special anymore. There's
or
not
Blockbuster, right?
You
would
don't
go
have
on
to make
Friday
a night
night
of it. Yeah.
Right. You'd make a night of it. You go down there, get some popcorn, you get your movie, and
Yeah.
There isn't that anymore.
Yeah.
Instead you can just go, ooh, what do I want to hit? Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
And then it's right there at your fingertips.
Yeah, and because of that, I think that plays into the physical media portion of it too, because it's not as special anymore to go and buy a movie, because it'll either be on Netflix in a month or two, or there's like 10,000 other movies you can watch, so that one in particular doesn't seem so special anymore.
And how confusing now. Well, I mean, confusing for me, because maybe my mind doesn't think about this in this way, but I think what the trend lately in like the last year and a half is the digital comes out a month before the physical.
Right, yeah. They
So,
really push the digital stuff because, I mean...
And sometimes they don't even tell you they're doing it. Like, they're like, Bohemian, whatever, blah, blah, blah movie out, February 24th. And then they put in the blurb, on all forms of digital media. And
Yeah.
like, well, when's the physical? And that's like 29th. It's like a week later, a month later.
Right.
So, yeah,
Yeah, so they'll do that, and they know that people will get it that way. People will be just like sitting at home. Like we said, people don't have to leave their house anymore to go get a movie or rent a movie. You can just sit and turn on whatever app. And as funny as it sounds, it's true. And I've had people tell me this, is that like they don't want to get up from the couch to go put a disc in. That's too much effort when you can just push a button. And like I've literally heard that from multiple people before, it's just hilarious and insane,
Dude, it's true. But to be fair, I had a moment like 2 weeks ago where my remote was on my desk, and that's literally like 6 feet from where I was laying, and I didn't want to get up. So I literally went on my phone, went into the app for my TV, and used my phone as a remote just so I didn't have to get up. So I may be part of the problem.
There you go.
Because I didn't want to get up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get it, but it's kind of sad.
It is, right?
I'll admit it's sad, dude.
It is. That and I don't think that they're putting enough incentive for people to buy physical media as much as they used to either, because like you said, they released the digital first, so that's one thing.
Right.
And do you remember back when DVDs like were first coming out, like early 2000s era? Do you remember? At least I remember, like DVDs would be packed with special features.
Oh,
like full, like documentaries and commentaries,
right,
and
dude.
like so many special features.
Look, dude, some of them I remember some of them coming with multiple discs. And one was like, those were the days, man, where you had your DVD, one DVD was just a movie, and the other one was just like special features.
Yeah, a whole disc of bonus
reels,
features.
Bloopers, like cutscenes, like documentary. I mean, like, I'm going back, the ones I always remember that really did was like is an idol of mine, but you go back to Kevin Smith. Like every time they would release something, like early 2000s, like always had a commentary tracks. Some of them had multiple, always had like special feature. They like the cases were really neat back then too. Like they seemed to put a little bit more effort into like the packaging, what it looked like, and all of that. And So it was really cool. You got a lot for your money. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like you were getting a lot for your money. Like, you got a lot of extra stuff. You weren't just getting the movie. You were getting a lot of extra stuff.
You're getting a
for
lot more than
the
just the
amount.
movie.
Right.
Yeah.
And you don't have that anymore.
No.
Like,
Now, Blu-rays, DVDs, they're bare. They're like just the movie and like maybe a 15-minute featurette that's on there, and that's it. Like there's hardly like no commentaries. Like they're bare bones.
Oh, I mean, I'll give you the example of, and I brought up Bohemian Rhapsody earlier because I've been watching that within the last 24 hours because it came out this past week, so I ended up watching it. I ended up buying the Blu-ray, and yeah, they have like special features on there, but I think there's only one special feature, and that is the actual like concert from Live Aid. Is they did the full concert that's on there, but I don't remember there being other. There might have been other ones hidden on there, and I just didn't see. But like, there are always the interviews. Some of the special features are like the interviews that they did before for promotion and all that they put on there. So it's not really.
Yeah. They don't pack them like they used to, and like that's getting rid of incentive for people to buy them. I think because I might be more willing to spend that $25 if I knew I was getting more than just the movie. Right. If I knew that like on there I was getting like hour-long behind the scenes making of the films, yada yada yada. And there's some directors that still do that, like Kevin Smith usually makes sure that they're on there, and like I think like Robert Rodriguez and some other people. But for the most part, movies are just like bare bones. So it's like, are you going to go into a store and spend, $25 on a movie that's just the movie, where if that movie shows up on Netflix in a month, you can watch it anytime also, and it's just the movie.
Right. And yeah. I mean, then that's a tough one. And most people, they're going to just wait until it comes out on Netflix. I mean, yeah, it's kind of, and they don't make neat looking cases anymore. I mean,
no, everything's very basic, and I think that just plays into the fact that it's like slowly dissipating away.
I mean, and there's been like little nichey things that I think they've tried every once in a while. Like you'll get exclusives at one of the big stores. I know Steelbook they tried for the time, and there's some neat looking Steelbooks, but they're so sparse. Like I think Best Buy was just one of the first ones that was just like, oh, we're going to do these like collector Steelbooks and do all these things. And then lately, and this kind of plays into what we've been talking about, is at least at our local one, the one that's like 30 minutes away, they pulled the movies out of. Yeah. They're no longer doing the movies. They pulled all the movies out of there. So I don't know.
Yeah, I pulled up one statistic, a graph, because I like graphs, and it's basically saying this is 2017, basically streaming versus buying DVD, Blu-rays, and stuff like that. And in 2017, subscription services were up $9.55 billion in subscription services that year. Jeez. Blu-ray sales, $4.72 billion. And then it also goes on and it shows DVD and on-demand stuff too. But so streaming was almost double.
Yeah, and that looks like it's down 14%. Like everything physical is down. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, video on demand was down, but everything else, subscription-wise, digital like that, went up.
Yeah, and like that's the future. And we're not even done with that because there's Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, yada yada. But Disney's coming out with their big subscription service.
Disney, yeah.
That's going to be huge.
Then you have the ones that are, I think about like then you have your Voodoos, which is like where you can get your digital copies and put them up there. Yeah. See, that's the other thing. In a world where you can go out and buy a Blu-ray, even with, I think when we were talking about incentive and what we're getting for our money, the other thing that we didn't take into effect or bring on board along with all the extra features not being on there is that They are trying, because when you buy a Blu-ray nowadays, it usually comes with a Blu-ray, a DVD, and then a digital copy.
Yeah. I always give my digital code to Eric Shea if you're watching. But, yeah.
But you know what? I don't give mine to Eric Shea. Hi, Eric. You don't know me that well. I think I met you like once or twice. But I keep a digital library, like as weird as that sounds. It's like in my part of the problem, but I do both. I keep a physical library, but I also do have a digital library.
Yeah, but all your digital comes from having the physical,
right? Because they're coming with a digital copy. That's true. Yeah. So I think even that's not even incentive enough for people. Like, I'm buying this movie and I get it in 3 different forms. Like, it's still not enough for people. They don't want to buy it even with that.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Well, because again, so if you're just an average Joe and you're actually like want to buy a movie, and you go to like the DVD, $5 bin, and there's the same movie sitting there that's on the Blu-ray shelf for $20.
You're gonna buy.
What are you gonna get?
Yeah.
Because those people don't care about quality. They're the same people that'll like pull out their phone and watch a movie and be content with that. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with watching a movie on your phone, but like it's a different experience. Like I like to like watch a movie in like the best quality, good sound. Lights off, my pants off. And just really get into the movie.
Right.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, we're talking about mainstream movies here, dude.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I know you like your quality films and all. But
yeah. So these people, they don't care about the difference between DVD and Blu-ray. They most likely don't even know the difference.
I don't think people know the difference.
Yeah.
It amazes me that this frustrates me the most. The thing that frustrates me the most, and I don't understand it. I mean, I get it, but I don't get it. Here's the thing. On the market right now, if you were to walk into a Walmart, there's usually DVDs. There's Blu-rays, there's 4K Blu-rays, and in some instances, 3D Blu-ray.
Yeah.
3D Blu-rays. There's 4 different kinds of physical media. I highly doubt most people looking in it know what the difference between a Blu-ray and a DVD is, and 9 times out of 10, they'll tell you they don't notice a difference.
Yeah.
But what irritates me the most is those people that I see go, and they're buying the 4K, 50 some odd inch 4K smart TV, Dolby, like you name it, anything you can name, this TV's got that. And then they're over there buying a DVD. And you're like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like why spend so much on a TV like that and get this impressive 4K TV to run a DVD that's maybe pushing 576p?
Yeah, if you're going to go hardcore on everything else, why not just get the Blu-ray or 4K,
And for me, like most TVs, I mean, when's the last TV that you saw that was shipping with anything below? Like most TVs nowadays are 1080 standard out of the box.
Yeah.
Which is what Blu-rays are usually, is 1080. So why not, it just boggles my mind that why would you spend that money to get a good TV and then not follow up with the peripherals to really watch the movies and what you're paying for.
Yeah.
It just feels like you're paying for something and then you're not using it. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's me. I'm also the guy that went out last year in November and went out and decided, because my other TV crapped out, so I decided I'm going to bump up to a 4K TV. But in doing that, I had to go out and get the 4K Blu-ray player, the 4K movies. It was going to be what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. I get not everybody's going to be able to do that. I probably shouldn't have, but I did anyway.
Right.
But it's just, but it would feel like such a waste if I've got this nice TV that can do 4K, not to try to play 4K material on it. It just feels like wasted money.
Mm-hmm.
So I just don't understand people that can go to a store, walk into a store, get this really nice TV with impressive numbers of what it could do, but sit there and play a DVD through it.
Yeah. That kind of, remember that time? I don't know if you were with me, but remember that time? Remember the movie Battleship that came out?
Yeah.
That shitty movie Battleship. I saw some dude pay full price, $25 for a DVD of Battleship. And
I think that's so bad.
First of all, why would you buy that movie? That's such a piece of shit movie. But also, if you're going to buy a movie that has like that much visual effects and like spectacle to look at, and you're spending that much money already, why not just get the Blu-ray? Like, at least it'll look better. At least it'll sound better.
That's true. Dude, I wasn't there with you, but I remember it was such an impactful event for you that you literally texted me after that. It was just like, dude, you won't believe what I just saw.
I couldn't believe. I just wanted to grab this guy and be like, "Do you know what you're buying? Like, have you seen this movie? Do you actually like it? And then if you do like it, how are you? You could spend the same amount of money and just get the Blu-ray. Why are you buying the DVD?"
Dude,
I was so confused.
Dude, have you ever had that moment at like in the store where you're watching somebody and you're like, "Don't do it.
Yeah.
Just please don't do that. No.
Yeah.
Don't. Oh God, why?
It was a very strange moment. Oh, look, there's like a huge sun glare now.
Oh man,
the thing.
Oh jeez.
Hold on. Just fill the air and I'll change the angle of the camera.
All right. So while he's changing the angle of the camera, God, I'm trying to remember what other points we're gonna make a point in bringing up, because we kind of been just all over the place, and it really just sounds we're just really frustrated with the fact that there's just not as much physical media out there anymore. It just seems to be a disappearing thing. I like the fact of having it there, but like I can't remember. See, this is what happened. We didn't write down any of these points.
That's fine. It's all up here.
It's all, yeah, that's the problem though. It's all up there and it ain't coming back out. But
that's what she said.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know, because there was a lot of I don't know. I think there's also it hit what surprised me when you said it was, and I looked it up, was the fact that Blu-rays have been out since 2006, 2007. And the reason that surprises me is that because that means that we've had Blu-rays for what? We're in 2019.
Yeah.
13 years of Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And I bet the majority of people, when you walk around, don't understand why you would buy a Blu-ray over a DVD.
Mm-hmm. And some people have an upgrade. Like, think about that. 13 years, and there's still plenty of people out there that have not upgraded.
No. And I mean, I get it.
I remember I went over to a girl's house one night. She told me to bring like horror movies, and I brought like a bunch of them, but like they were all Blu-ray, and she didn't have a Blu-ray player when I got there.
Oh God,
that's all right. We still banged, but anyways,
okay, well, good for you, man.
But still, it was like I didn't even think about that though. Like it didn't even like cross my mind that someone that they wouldn't have a Blu-ray.
I don't even think about that anymore, because I feel like Blu-ray is the standard now. I in my mind, I think of everything at the Blu-ray. Everything is Blu-ray is. Boy, I am all. I can't talk right now. I think Blu-ray is the standard.
Yeah.
Like my low end is Blu-ray. If I can get it in Blu-ray, I buy it in Blu-ray. I don't think to buy it in DVD because I want the high definition.
Yeah.
I want it a decent looking quality. Sometimes I'll break that. Like, let's be honest, if I'm going to buy a television show, sometimes, one, they don't come out in Blu-ray. It may not be out in Blu-ray, but I also am not willing to spend Blu-ray prices for the DVD, or Blu-ray prices for that television show. Mm-hmm. But in general, my bottom line is Blu-ray.
Yeah, same here.
So like when people ask me to borrow something, I don't even think about
yeah, it like didn't even cross my mind. She was just like, bring some movies over. I was like, you got it. And I just like threw a bunch in my backpack, and I like wouldn't have even thought that, it was.
Yeah, you just don't think about it anymore.
And like a dude that I work with too, he's an older guy, granted, but he's got like the high def TV and all that, the nooks and crannies, but he's like got a DVD player he's had for probably the last 13 years or longer, and he won't get Blu-ray because he's like, DVD player still works.
Which you told me that earlier, my mind about like melting.
Yeah.
But I guess there's just some people that they don't care about the quality. They don't care what it looks like. They don't care what it sounds like. They just, if they like the movie, they like the movie. If they like the movie, they like the movie.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get, but at the same time, like, I'm having a really tough time understanding why people just don't upgrade. Like, I mean, other than a financial thing, I get it. I understand the financial portion of it.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking at the fact if you've got the money to throw down for a nice fancy new TV, And plus, Blu-ray players are like $30 these days. They're VHS
come down a
players
lot.
are more.
Yeah.
More to buy these days than Blu-ray players.
Yeah.
Like, you can get one.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. Maybe I do understand, and I just don't want to understand because it frustrates me so much.
Could be, yeah.
Because
I think just at the end of the day, just most people don't care. That's what it comes down to. Is that they're not movie people. They don't care about quality. They don't care about the experience of a movie. They just, need mind-numbing stuff to have on to watch.
I mean, I could get back behind some of that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Even if some people, and I think even if there's people that do care. I mean, look, we were messing around with it when I got my new TV. Is like some of the streaming services are now doing. Most of them come standard high def.
Mm-hmm.
There's also 4K and what's it, ultra high dynamic range or whatever it is. They got 4K stuff on there. If you get decent internet, you can stream it. So like even then. And it cost me $1 more, $2 more in my Netflix just to have the 4K content on there.
Okay.
So you're talking $2 more for me to get a whole bunch more 4K.
Yeah.
Am I gonna? That's $24 a year. Mm-hmm. I can't even buy a 4K for that cost.
Yeah,
but I can get
that's true. If you put it like that.
So like I mean, financially I get it. I mean, do you think it's turning physical media into like a luxury item? I hate to use the word luxury, but like...
Yeah, I think it's more of just like I think physical media now is really just for collectors. It's not for like Joe Schmo. It's for, people that are like serious movie collectors, movie buffs, like people that want, that like need to have, it's for a specific group of people now rather than everybody, I guess.
I think, yeah. I think I just, because, at the rate we're going, it just kind of seems like to rent or to stream or to do any of that is way cheaper than to buy the physical media. So at this point, are we just getting to a point where, it's... I'm buying it because I can, and it's more of a luxury that I can rather than, I guess it's all luxury items at this point. Like I'm going down a hole I can't get myself out of. But
well, now it's kind of like I really only buy the movies that I really, really like. Like there was a point in time where I bought probably way too many movies.
Oh, same here, dude.
Can
you remember back when
everything just like I liked, I bought, but now it's like I have to really, really love a movie, or it has to be really cheap. Essentially.
Yeah.
That's why like Black Friday deals, like that's when I buy movies, is because they're obnoxiously cheap.
Yeah. I used to be like, well, dude, I feel like our spending habits co-align because I see you buying movies. I'm like, I'm going to get movies then. And so, like, you've calmed down, I've calmed down. There's not a whole lot coming out. But, yeah, Black Friday is not a good time of year for us.
I mean, it's kind of the best time in a way because that's all these movies that would be like $20-some are now like $8. But
it always... Every time we go, it's always one of those, I'm not going to buy a lot. No. Maybe if I see a movie I really want, like, maybe one or two. And then, like, at the end of the night, we're like, boy, man, I'm glad I didn't spend all that money.
Yeah. I had quite a haul.
So much for that. God, the question was good. You're talking about buying a movie. Can you remember back, you gave a little history about buying stuff, but can you remember back when you only had, like, 10, 15 movies, which is a lot for some people, not for us. Remember like 10, 15 movies and you're like, yeah, this is what I'm going to do now. And this is what I'm going to spend money on.
I don't remember like a specific moment of being like, because I feel like I just always had a lot of movies.
See, I have a distinct moment I can remember because I feel like I was late to the game. It wasn't something I always did, but I can definitely remember the day that the time period I did, and then it was bad after that. This is why I was curious if you had a specific time point, because mine was college. Because I'm really bad at paying my bills sometimes, and my internet would go out every once in a while. And there was a video store, and for some of you listening, a video store was where you could go and rent a movie from. I'm only making this joke because not a lot of them exist anymore. So this had to be like 2008, 2009.
Okay.
There was like a family video like near us, like up over the hill from where I was living. And I literally went in there, and they were going out of business. And they were going out of business and sale, and so they were selling all their stock off. Like everything they had in their store, they were selling. And I think I went in there, and I bought, at the time, because I wasn't really up to Blu-rays at that point. It was DVDs. I think I bought maybe 1 or 2 Blu-rays, but I mainly bought DVDs. I think I went in there and bought like 12 or 15 DVDs, and I can remember that. I still have some of them. Like, it's a very distinct collection. It's a very weird grouping of movies that I know were the time period when I bought them.
Right on.
Because I think they also had the original tags on them as well.
Oh, shit.
But when I did buy those, like, I remember I'm like, I kind of like this. This was nice. And I kind of liked them on my shelf. But that was what sparked it. Because after that, I think, like, once I got out of college and then I got into a job where I had steady income coming in, I think that's about the time period where I started to buy. I don't remember the first Blu-ray I bought. I don't remember the first one I watched, but I do remember that. Like,
I do remember the first Blu-ray I got.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Hit me with it.
It was Dr. Horrible's sing-along blog.
Really?
That Neil Patrick Harris, Joss Whedon thing.
That was your first one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I really wish I could remember what my first Blu-ray was.
I haven't watched that in a while. I need to.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I don't. I'm just sitting here trying to remember. I honestly don't think I remember what my first one was. That's a shame. I do remember my first 4K though.
Because that was like a couple months ago.
It was November.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't remember my first Blu-ray though.
Will there ever be anything beyond 4K? And if there is, what are the likelihood of it succeeding?
I think there will be something above 4K. I don't think it's anytime soon. Because I don't think, one, I know there's I know there's monitors and things like now that they're saying that are 5K. And then some that are pushing maybe 6K depending on how you do it. But the thing is I don't think that TV technology is quite to the point where you can go above 4K without it costing a fortune. I'm not saying they can't do it, but at that point, at this point in time, the cost, I think once you go above 4K, can you really like I will tell you that if you put a DVD into a Blu-ray, I can tell the difference, a Blu-ray to 4K, I can usually tell a difference, but is there really a difference from 4K and higher? Are we getting to the point where like you're not really going to notice a difference? So I don't know until there's an obvious difference. I don't know whether you'll go up. I know that they can film in higher resolution or in higher like Ks. I know there's like 16, 32, and 64 or something like that. But that's in IMAX territory, and that's because they project the size of the screens and what they're projecting on. Right. They need that many pixels, or they need that kind of resolution so it doesn't look blurry once they project it on the 100 and some odd foot screens or whatever, however big the screens are. So I feel like they'll be out there. It'll be someday, but I think the problem with going that high right now is there's such a huge spread in the market right now between DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K Blu-rays, 3D Blu-rays, that it just doesn't make sense to introduce yet another format that is probably not going to sell really well, or just even split down even further an already really spread out market. I just don't see it happening anytime soon. And if it is, it's going to be the really niche-y people, and it's going to be the ones that are like, hey, Ryan, come over to my house. Look at this. 57K projector.
Oh, God.
Look at that. You know what? And I got...
May as well just go out to a movie at that point.
And I've got one movie that'll play on it in the actual resolution I'm paying for. Jurassic Park 57. Enjoy.
Oh God. Yeah.
So I mean that's what I think we'll see. I think there's got to be a huge jump in TV tech, and there's got to be a huge drop in like cost, because some people are looking at like, well, let's look at it this way. The cost for me to go from just being able to play regular Blu-rays to being able to play 4K Blu-rays, the Blu-ray player itself was like $150.
Dang.
And that's not, there's no streaming attached to that, I don't think. That was just purely to play the 4K. And then the TV, because it was Black Friday, was like another $200 or $300. And I didn't do anything with sound, but if you wanted to do sound, that's another $100 and some odd bucks.
Yeah. So is it worth it?
You're talking,
You know.
I mean,
At the end of the day,
for me, yeah, because
Yeah.
I enjoy movies. That's the main thing I do. But for Joe Schmo on the road, $600 just to go from Blu-ray to 4K, where they may not be able to tell a difference. No,
Yeah.
no, it's not gonna happen. I think we're seeing especially with TVs, very rarely anymore do you see anything shipped below 720. A lot of them are high def. Blu-ray player prices are coming down. So I think we'll start to see DVDs slowly fade out. I don't think it'll be anytime soon, but you're starting to see less and less out there. But until Blu-ray is the standard, or even 4K is the standard, and the prices start to come down,
but
I don't see a new
even
new
after
format
13 years of Blu-rays existing, and it's still, I mean, it's a standard to us, but it's still not, I don't even know if I call it the standard, just because there's so many people out there that just don't care, that either would get the DVD instead or whatever. So
Right.
the 13 years and it still hasn't converted everybody.
And I mean, the thought just occurred to me, we're making a big point out of people aren't buying the Blu-rays, they'd rather just buy the DVDs, and maybe that's because, 1, they don't know the difference, 2, they may not notice the difference, 3, they don't care, 4, it's cheaper, whatever it may be. But I also don't think we're keeping, I don't know, the thought just occurred to me that, like, are we not putting, I feel like we're trying to blame somebody for the fact that it's failing, but that's not really what I'm saying. But is the fact that it's going downhill like it is that also because the studios aren't doing, how many movies can you think of that you'd really like to buy and you want to rebuy, but they haven't done the conversion to Blu-ray?
I don't know. I feel like most the things I want are available on Blu-ray.
I don't know, man. Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
That's right. Yeah, that one is
not
not.
on Blu-ray.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And dude, somebody's got to
Someone's
speak
really
to somebody
needs to
about
get
that.
on that. Yeah, that is a great film.
But there's also some really quirky out there films that I enjoy that I would really like on Blu-ray, and they don't do it. So like,
Even Troma does Blu-ray.
Troma does Blu-ray. That's right. They do. They do green Blu-rays.
Yeah, and we can't get a Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny on Blu-ray? Come on.
Look, if I've got Poultrygeist on Blu-ray,
I do too.
I should be able to get Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny.
Yeah,
on Blu-ray.
right.
That's God, why? This is so disappointing.
That is like messed up.
I mean, way to go, Troma. Keep pumping them out because I'm gonna keep buying them, watching them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But as for everybody else, like get on board. If there's anything you'll take it all the complaining I just did, because it just sounds. I bet this podcast just sounds like two people complaining about the fact that there's not enough Blu-rays in the world.
Yeah.
Which is kind of true.
Yeah.
But if there's anything I'm gonna take out of this, just like do me a favor, just step up by the Blu-ray, enjoy the quality. Come on, just enjoy the quality,
Enjoy
enjoy
your
the
life.
sound.
Yeah.
Like instead of straining to see like what like Vin Diesel's abs look like, get yourself some Blu-ray and see what they look like.
Yeah. Oh man. Get your Fast and the Furious box set.
Yeah, they're out there, man.
There are, but there's more movies, so they're gonna make more box sets.
Why?
Eventually.
Why?
Hobbs and Shaw, dude, it's coming out.
Oh man, dude, we don't have time. Dude, there's not a big enough podcast to talk about that.
I'm just saying.
We should talk about that time period in life. That was an interesting time.
We should do like a Fast and Furious reflection video or podcast.
Dude, we should.
Like now that it's been however long it's been since we had to watch them all.
When's that movie come out?
Sometime in the summer. I don't know.
Dude, summertime. We'll just schedule it, man. That's what we're doing. We're gonna do a pod where we talk about like that.
Oh God.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I can't even keep the timeline straight.
It's because they mess with the timeline.
Part 3 happens after part 6 or something. I don't know. Dude,
watch them like Back to the Future. That summertime. They're gonna get a DeLorean out, and Hobbs is gonna get in and be like, "I gotta go back," and then he like speeds down the road and goes back in time.
Well, I mean, do we have? How long have we been running here? Checking.
Oop.
Technology. Oh God.
New phone. Come on.
Oh man.
We have been going for 43 minutes, sir.
Okay, so we hit like an hour. I think I'd feel good about that.
For a first podcast, man.
Yeah.
You gotta hit an hour, man.
Also, so I got first though, is there anything else we want to talk about on the topic of Blu-rays and physical media? Is there anything we didn't hit yet?
I think we hit
that we
it
should
all.
cover.
I don't think there's much to wrap it all up. I think we just sounded like two dudes complaining that there's not enough physical media in the world. They just don't do physical media like they used to, and we're kind of bummed because that means there's less of it for us to go out and get. So buy Blu-rays. It's not an ad, but
all
God,
right.
Please just bump up. So what do you got?
Well, I think I might have some questions for us.
Okay.
Because I asked some people to ask us questions.
All right. Hit me.
I don't know. Let's see what we got. These are Snapchat, so these might not actually be questions. That one's not a question. Hang on. Okay, this one. Oh my God. That's not a question either.
Dude, by the time we get into the 10th or 15th one, we'll have this down.
I know there's some questions on Instagram though. Okay, ready? What's your weapon of choice for killing a zombie?
Weapon of choice killing a zombie. The Walking Dead ratings.
Oh.
To be fair, though, I can't really use that because the viewership's dropping, but it's still the top-rated show on Sundays somehow.
Everyone in zombie stuff uses guns and they shoot the zombies in the head like so accurately.
It's kind of annoying.
But
I guess after like 5-6 years of doing that, I guess you'd be pretty good at it.
I guess. But like I feel like I would be wasting bullets if I had a gun during the zombie.
Oh, yeah, dude.
outbreak.
I would definitely do.
You got a bunch of zombies coming at you. You're trying to aim at the head. You're freaking out. It just doesn't seem plausible. I think I'd just stick with like a good old machete or something.
Yeah, I think I would. Oh, man. That seems so cliche. So I'm going to go with a... I'm trying to think a windshield scraper because that's in my car and I know I could get to it.
Sweet.
And then the plastic on the scraper will break eventually into a nice point for me to stab stuff. That's how I'm going to battle the zombie apocalypse.
All right, that'll work.
I may bump up after that, but that's in my car. that
you just use your car. Just run
Dude,
down
I'm
zombies.
almost done with the payments. I can do whatever I want with it. So if I want to run over some zombies, man.
Do you remember in the first Dead Rising game, you could drive the car down into like the lower parking garage or whatever, and you could just run through all the zombies?
I do remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, dude, that was fun. Dude, I also remember that I would go up into the mall. I mean, I don't think I ever actually played that game through, like, the storyline that's in there.
Yeah.
Because all I remember going upstairs and doing is there was a sports store you could get bowling balls.
Yeah.
And all I remember is going into certain parts of the mall and just bowling and knocking zombies down. That's all I used to do.
That game was fun. Like, okay, I'm not a gamer, right? But like, I know that game got a lot of shit, and I don't understand why. Like, it's so much fun. Like, you could like literally kill zombies with anything.
I think people look back on the first one or two as like really like they were good. Like, I don't know whether they thought that at the time, but a lot of people look back and they were like, those are pretty good. I think you get into like the third and fourth, like the recent ones that haven't been as Like I think I tried one of the recent ones, and they changed the format and how the style of it, and I did not like it. I did not care for it. But
I'm a fan of anything open world because I like just dicking around. That's why I like Grand Theft Auto so much, because I don't particularly like following a storyline. I like just doing whatever I want.
Right, it's there if you want to. But like there's a world and you can dig around, but if there's a story there, you can do that. If you choose not to, you don't have to.
Yeah, those are the kind of games I like the most.
Fair enough, man.
So what's your favorite song to dance around in your underwear to?
Man.
Limp Bizkit's Break Stuff. Yeah.
Oh man. I don't know whether I don't do that, so like I don't know. I imagine if I did do it, it would have to be a Limp Bizkit song.
Probably. Would you eat chocolate that tastes like poop or poop that tastes like chocolate? Which would you rather?
Dude, poop that tastes like chocolate.
Then you're eating poop.
I don't care. It tastes like chocolate.
I don't know, man.
Dude, it'll be easier to get down.
I guess, but whose poop are you eating? That's what I want.
I mean, that's actually the question there. But I mean, still, if it tastes like chocolate.
Well, all right. So I got one more. It's the end of the world. What celebrity do you choose to spend the rest of your life with? Do you mean like romantically or just like in a bunker somewhere? Like it's not specified.
Man.
Celebrity. Oh, you'd probably pick Kevin Smith.
Dude. Yep. Dude, I mean, we don't have to go much further. Do we get podcasts all the time? We could make our own movies all the time.
I'd pick Ana de Armas because she's my number one. Well, she's my current number one.
Current number one?
My real number one is Christina Ricci. But she's kind of getting up there in age, and
I mean, still though.
I know, but Ana de Armas is like fresh. I think they both have husbands, but like if we're trapped in a bunker or something together, I'm sure that won't matter after a while.
God, no. Man, I'm gonna have to stick with Kevin Smith though.
Yeah.
That probably I don't really care what people judge me or not, but we get a lot of shit done.
Yeah, probably.
For no one to listen to, but we get a lot.
Or
of
you
stuff
just
done.
like smoke weed together and talk about comic books.
I'm not really seeing any negatives here. I'm not seeing any negatives here.
Yeah, I hear you.
So it's all those sounded like positives to me.
You're right. So I think that's everything that people asked me. I'm pretty sure.
Some good questions. Questions are always good. I think we got to start. Once we get into the rhythm of this and figure out how often we're going to do this.
Yeah.
I like to do this regularly, but that would mean that we'd have to find a point in our weeks each week to do it.
Right.
Which once we get into the rhythm of this, like this today went quick. Like I think last time it took us like 2-3 hours to get up because the amount of setup it took. But this time, because everything else was set up and just connect the mics and go, it was rather quick. So I think we'll get it down to like under like 2 hours. And finding 2 hours in a week, I would hope isn't too bad.
It's plausible.
Go with plausible.
Plausible.
No, dude, what we'll do is if we can't figure it out, like, you know how my car's designed like above my radio? There's that little ledge that pumps out. Mm-hmm. We'll just clamp these because they clamp to the table. We'll just clamp them to the dash, and then we'll have them boom mic in front of our faces in the car, and we'll just do a car pod.
That sounds great, but what about the like reverb from the car?
Dude, not a problem. We got the mixer.
Oh, okay.
Which we'll try to figure that out. I got some people I can be like, hey, how do I fix this?
Okay, all right.
Okay, so we'll just use the jack in the car. We'll get that so we can plug it in. Okay, and then we'll just put the laptop and the mixer in the back. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then we can just hit record and have that record in the back seat and all that.
Okay.
And then we'll just fix the sound in post.
I mean, okay. I mean, I'm down.
I mean, it's probably not legal, but I mean...
I don't think there's any laws about not podcasting while you're driving.
This is true. There's nothing that says we couldn't do that.
It says you can't be on your phone. It doesn't say that you can't have a microphone in front of you.
I mean, and like these things bend down so it wouldn't be obstructing my view that much.
Yeah.
So like...
Hey, let's try it.
Maybe we'll just get lapel mics and we'll just clip them to ourselves.
Okay.
And then we'll just record it that way.
We could do that.
So like, this also,
Okay.
we'll find time.
I'm up for it.
The real question is are we going to do this weekly, bi-weekly, monthly?
Well, it depends on what day, because my work schedule, yada yada. So probably have to be bi-weekly for me, but unless we could figure out something.
Unless, and we won't tell them we're going to do it, but maybe we should bank some episodes.
Oh yeah.
And do multiple episodes before we even start.
Yeah.
And that way we've already got a few in the can.
Yeah, that would be a good idea.
But we won't tell them we're going to do that.
No, we'll do that.
I don't want them to think like
we talk about that off air.
Yeah, I don't want them to think that we just filmed a whole bunch in a row.
Yeah.
Did it that way. That would be a shame.
So we got to change our clothes like in between podcasts so it looks like it's
I didn't even think of the video
day.
part. Dude, we'll figure it out. Yeah, we'll just we'll literally just we'll just get some just bring an extra set of clothes so we can at least film 2 at a time. Just swap clothes in between.
Brilliant. I like it.
I think it'll work, man.
Okay.
We'll get different curtains so it makes it look like we'll change the red out so it'll make it look like it's different. But I think we can make it work.
All right, I'm up for it. So, did we hit an hour?
Man, we're gonna have to work on this. If we're like, did we hit an hour? I think I also gotta find something I can put on my computer. I'm trying to use my phone. No.
Oh, we didn't?
No.
All right, should we keep going then until we hit it?
I don't know. Because then does it sound like we're just trying to force it to go to an hour?
Yes.
Then I said we go to an hour. Let's make this podcast sound as forced as possible. That we just didn't know what the hell to talk about.
I like a good round number. I don't like you know.
Dude, we're in trouble if you want to hit a good round number.
54.18. Like that's just such an awkward number. It should be 1.
Yeah, but it's like almost all even numbers. What about we could have done 54-54. Or no, wait, we could 54-28. That was all even.
Oh, that's just too much.
I mean, it is whenever. Here's the thing. This will get us to our forced podcast end at the end. What kind of topics moving forward do we want to touch on?
Well, we're everything. Nothing is off limits as far as I'm concerned. So we could do a whole episode on Fast and the Furious franchise.
I think it's got to
a whole episode on trauma.
Dude, that's definitely got to happen.
We could do a whole episode on just pick something random, like the history of potato chips. We could do the history
of potato chips.
There's
There's nothing that says we couldn't do the history of.
Yeah,
that's true.
We could just talk about it. Talk about our different flavors that we like and varieties and a good chip. You don't like Pringles? I think that'd be an interesting thing to bring up.
Dude, I hate Pringles.
Save it
I'm just
for the episode. But
I hate Pringles.
Yeah, so that could be
interesting.
They're
not a chip. They're just like paper.
And then we could debate like between like chips and like Doritos. Like, where do you draw the line?
Ooh, yeah.
Is a Dorito a chip?
Yeah, that question just broke my mind, dude. That's gotta be a pod. It's just literally us sitting here staring at a Dorito, going, "Is it a chip or is it a Dorito?" But what's a Dorito?
Yeah.
Is a Dorito a chip and a chip?
So if you don't limit yourself by like a genre or anything, like you could literally, we could podcast about anything.
Yeah, and I'm sure we'll figure it out and post it wherever we post this. But we'll definitely put stuff up where you could like leave some suggestions for us.
Yeah.
Because I imagine there's some things that people are interested in that we're just not going to think of. So, and if you want to hear what we got to say about it, like let us know. But I definitely think we need to do a trauma one. We definitely need to talk about our experience watching all the Fast and the Furiouses.
Yeah.
Definitely need to talk about trauma. We got to do a Kevin Smith one because then I can get all of that. No problem going an hour on that one because I'll just talk until I'm blue in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many like movie-based ones that we can do, but we can do like I know we don't want to be so stuck in movies because then we run into trouble.
Yeah.
Because then we don't know what the heck to like. Especially this time of year when like the movies in theaters right now are scarce. They're scary. Mm-hmm. Let's just put it that they're scary. Of course, this time of year is always scary for movies.
Yeah.
So.
Right. Yeah. We could like pick a director and like go through like the filmography and whatnot.
I didn't think of that. Yeah, we could do that
like
too.
For various directors. Could be fun to do.
I still say we should do the history of potato chips.
Yeah, dude, I'm down for that one.
Dude,
Because I'm sure there's like lots of discussions we could have. Like, why are there so many flavors? And like the flavors that are crazy that like don't make any sense that shouldn't exist.
Dude, I don't think they should exist in first place, but anyway.
Or like that ghost pepper chip I had here, remember?
I
ate like
that.
2 chips and I was out.
Yeah, dude, I want to try those again though.
Oh, dude.
I do because like I remember them being spicy, but it kind of like I wonder how many I could eat before I was just like, why am I
Well,
doing
you could
this
do
to
it
myself?
live on air so people could see literally how many
I'll just
you could
slowly
eat.
start eating them through. We'll do the history of potato chips, and I'll slowly eat those throughout.
Oh, God. I'm not having
So depending
one.
on how much I'm talking by the end, depends on like how bad it was.
Oh. God, no.
Oh, man.
That's awful.
Dude, we could do Little Debbie versus Hostess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's always the question.
You know.
Left Twix versus right Twix.
No, it's too far.
Too far?
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, favorite energy drink, man? You never know, man. We could go anywhere.
My favorite energy drink doesn't exist anymore. They took it.
Yeah,
they discontinued it.
What is it? Was it Sobe Gold?
No Fear Gold.
No Fear Gold. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about it because you're just like
I was very upset.
you're like unconsolably upset. Like you're just like they don't make it anymore, man. You haven't even found it online anywhere. Like have you gone to that extent? Like
Yeah, I have. Yeah, it's
Have you
discontinued.
really?
Like it's gone.
dude, we can make
they
that an episode.
Don't make it anymore.
Because then we can talk about our search to try to find Livewire
Oh
cans.
yeah.
Going as far as we emailed Pepsi was just like, where can we find this? Because we're not finding it around here. And do you still make it?
It's nuts.
Also, can we talk about how Mountain Dew followed me on Twitter?
Oh, did it?
It did. Dude,
That's awesome.
That's what that photo was. Do you remember me sending you?
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, 16-year-old Vogie would be freaking out right now. The fact that Mountain Dew is following him on Twitter, but like me now, I'm like, that's kind of cool, but why? Like, yeah. And I checked to make sure because I was just like, when you get one of those accounts that follows you, like, probably some fake account. And I went to the actual account. It was actual verified Mountain Dew Twitter account.
Wow. You've made it, dude.
I know. I'm pretty pumped
You've
about
made
it.
it.
Like, I don't know what else I need to do. I got followed by Mountain Dew on Twitter. They probably unfollowed me by now, but
Yeah.
for like a brief hour.
Get them to follow you and then just start posting like weird furry shit or something. Like, I regret that decision. Unfollow.
They can see the all of like I think I just had my Twitter anniversary and it was like 7 or 8 years on Twitter.
Yeah.
And I laughed because I had to be like, have I even tweeted 8 times? Like I only tweet like once a year on stuff. Like do an actual alone tweet maybe once or twice. The rest of the time it's commenting on your tweets. I don't do much of anything else.
Sweet.
But all right, so we've first podcast in the books.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
That's right. I'm gonna have to get used to. I keep forgetting that there's a video portion of this too. So yes, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And hopefully by next episode we'll know where you can find it. Because I haven't figured that out yet. Yeah. Well, I did it once. I got it on iTunes
we'll put it
once.
up. We'll try to put it up on like iTunes or something.
But that means we got to come up with cover art and all that stuff.
We could do that.
Daniel's the one I got to do it last time.
Sweet. Yeah, just tell him. Just give him.
He's got this fancy new computer he wants. He's got one of those Surface laptops, and he's got one of them fancy pens. I'll be like, Daniel, make us. Here's our podcast name. Make me some cover art. He'll do it.
One of them fancy pens.
And I'll just pay him in Rockstar because that's what he seems to drink these days.
Oh God. That'll make your piss glow.
We'll talk about it on our energy soda or energy drink.
We'll have
episode.
an energy drink podcast. Yeah.
But all right.
All right.
Thanks for watching.
Okay. Peace.
Out later.